your, I guess, treatment is doing. That is, what do you call it?
I have had every cancer treatment possible under the sun has been run past me, including, eating asparagus and standing on your head.
Poked, prodded, everything, huh?
Everything's been run past me, and so I have become an instant skeptic when it comes to cancer treatments. I know nothing about this guy's treatment, but I'm a skeptic. And what I will do when I first hear about something, I will look it up on PubMed. I'll do the research. I will look around and see, are there anti-testimonials? I mean, some of these guys, there's a guy named Gerd Hamer over in Germany who does German New Medicine. I was reading it. I looked back, and in May, I emailed my husband. I said, this looks really interesting. And then I just recently found the anti-testimonial page of all the people who had died. And you're seeing ulcerated breast cancers and wounds. And I'm like, oh! And, that's the kind of stuff they're not going to tell you, but it's out there if you know how to search for it. So I would just say, keep an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out. You've got to be careful and skeptical. And until somebody proves to me something works and proves it beyond just showing me 2 or 3 people that they claim were cured, until they prove to me it works, I'm just going to assume it probably doesn't, because I've seen so many fakes out there.
Don't be such a skeptic, though, Catherine.
But don't be such. This isn't to you, George, because I know you don't. But don't be such a sucker, because I've seen stuff that prior to getting breast cancer,
you have to be smart,
and it's flat out false. I mean, factually false. I can prove it.
You have to be smart. There are hucksters out there. You got to be careful.
Alas, yeah.
Let's go to London, Ontario. Richard, welcome to Coast to Coast. Hi, Richard.
Hi, George. Catherine. Excellent topic tonight.
Thank you.
I want to mention that I'm a diabetic for about 18 years now, type 2.
Okay.
On metformin, but I tell you, my cholesterol, I've been having nothing but health problems after health problems. I started out with diabetes, and then it went to cholesterol, high blood pressure, and I'm on 6, 7 different meds. But I'll tell you one thing. Research tonight, what Catherine was saying, that's the key word for tonight, research. Because through research that I did, and that I got friends in that have health food places, and I've been reading pamphlets, books, you won't believe this. I was on 3 different blood pressure pills, and the doctor took me off 2 of them. And I'm just taking the one right now.
Good.
I've lowered it by eating lots of garlic, and I mean not just 2 or 3 cloves. I mean the whole head of garlic. And for my cholesterol, I've been doing a mixture of silicium with flaxseed and Pure Brand and
well, and you're doing it yourself, Richard. That's the important thing. You're doing the research. That's, of the many things the Internet has brought to us, Catherine, to be able to sit down and really do a lot of your own research is absolutely marvelous, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a mixed bag. It's a bit of both, because some of the things I look back on my
with
early
all the other
research
stuff that we're doing
in January, February, March,
it is your life, though.
back in the early part of 2011, and I compare it with what I know now, and I went down a lot of rabbit holes that didn't pan out, that I later look back on, just like I was just describing that one particular case. So I look back on it and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I almost did that. So research is a good thing, but you also have to be very discerning in what you find, because a lot of these websites will have very compelling arguments, and yet nothing other than testimonials. And that's probably your number one tip-off. Testimonials alone are kind of a tip-off that they don't have really anything else to show you. So just, again, I'm going to say be careful. And when you mentioned diabetes, I couldn't help but remember that I had read that cinnamon
that helps lower it, your glucose levels.
In lowering it, yeah. So
I drink water nonstop all day, and I started, after listening to this show, I started putting cinnamon in the sugar. I started putting nuts in the sugar. Cinnamon in the water. I started putting nuts in the water, because I try to eat all day, so I get my protein from nuts. I, of course, eat meat and chicken as well, mostly chicken, because it's an even pH, but But I try to eat mainly just a lot of salad when I can. Whenever I can, I have a salad. But in any case, cinnamon is awesome on the daily, as is honey. So now in the wintertime, I throw some honey, some cinnamon, the nuts, gives it a little bit of a hazelnutty flavor. I do isogenics, so I put some isogreens in there, and it's a nice green tea. It's delicious. But it's all about water, and water plus the nutrients that we need. So if you put stuff in your water, like I said, if you want to take a look, there's a lot of research that just came out about putting nuts in water. It helps break them down so it's more easily digestible by the system, and you actually get more of the the nutrients from the amino acids in the protein. But in any case, most people think I'm crazy for it. But people always have cinnamon, so you could always have a good glass of water with cinnamon at somebody's house. I put a little baking soda in, which raises the pH. Just a pinch, just so you could see it come out. That's it. But cinnamon, I try to put a decent amount in. Not a lot, but I mean, enough that you're going to taste it the whole time. In any case, cinnamon, here she goes.
So, there's so many things out there in food. And again, we get back to what you were talking about, George. Cinnamon and watermelon and all
bitter melon, a tablet.
Oh yeah, watermelon. It's sweet, and it's also very nice and delicious. It is also the highest pH of any food that there is. The best food for you is cinnamon. And the best meat, if you're going to eat meat, is chicken. And I just said, yeah, I'm not used to doing this. All right. The best fruit is watermelon. The best food is watermelon. For pH at least. And the best meat is chicken because it's a 7 pH. So, enjoy.
That lowers it. I mean,
and even literally watermelon.
They now say green coffee bean extract drops your glucose level by 25%.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
They're gonna, as you said, they're gonna find a cure for AIDS. It's gonna be some little thing in the rainforest.
If there's any rainforest.
If there's any left, and that's another reason.
Catherine, we got a minute left. I want you to give out some of your websites. You've got many, and tell us things where people can get a hold of you.
All right, KMAshow.com is the key place. I do a daily radio program that people can learn all about at KMAshow.com. That's probably your central location, KMAshow.com. And, I've got links to pretty much everything on there. I am going to be working this year, so people could say a prayer for my health and my recovery. I'm going to be done with the cancer treatment in June.
Woo-hoo.
And this year, my goal and my plan is to sit down with all that I've learned and the 27 things I take every morning and figure out how can I make the case as to why these things were so helpful, and how can I encourage people not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you have look at what both sides can offer you, things were so helpful. And how can I encourage people not to throw the baby out with the bathwater? If you have cancer, really take a look at what both sides can offer you, and don't give up on either one, because both the conventional and the alternative have things to offer, and your real goal is to get through it alive. That's the key.
I love your attitude, Catherine.
Thank you, George. Well, I always love yours.
Well, gotta be upbeat. You know that.
You better believe it. And God's been with me the whole way, and I just have to put a shout out to my homeboy, Jesus Christ. Just had to say that.
Okay. See you later. Catherine Albrecht, she's one of a kind. For Dan Galante, Tom Danheiser, Lisa Lyon, Lex Lonehood, Sean Ladassour, Stephanie Smith, Ross Mitchell, George Knapp, John B. Wells, Ian Punnett, and Art Bell. I'm George Norrie, somewhere out there on Coast to Coast AM. We'll see you on our next edition.
All right. Well, as usual, my XMP3 player that I love because it can record like 70 hours worth of content, which I do fill up fairly often, and travel with it as I walk around. That's it. Sometimes it likes to skip ahead 2 shows for some reason. So we missed a whole lot of her interview. We may go back to it. You may not. I might have to walk around a little bit and see what's going on here, because it looks like there shouldn't be anything in the ground, but I see one thing painted. That means that there might be something. You never know around here, because people do like to bury their wire in the ground. So, signing off for now, February 1st. Have a beautiful day, everybody, and continue living. LIVIN.